Hi, I'm Don from Hutt Street Photos, and today we're going to show you how to load one of these, a 35mm film, into one of these, an SLR camera. We've had quite a few people come through to the shop recently who have wanted to try film photography. So they've gone out and borrowed a camera or bought a camera, put a film through it, but when they've gone to get it processed, we've realised that they haven't loaded it correctly or they haven't rewound it properly. So in this video we're going to show you how to load up a film so that it transports across properly, and we're going to show you how to safely rewind it as well. To open up this type of film camera, pull up the rewind mechanism, that'll open up the back. First thing you might want to do is to check for dust. If you see any dust in the camera, get one of these little blower brushes, give it a bit of a sweep out, a bit of a blowout. Especially look for dust on this backing plate, because that's what the film transports against, and if there's any dust on there it'll scratch the film. Make sure you don't go putting your fingers through this shutter curtain, or that gets easily damaged. Take your film, you might want to lift that mechanism up a little bit higher so the film just drops straight in. Lock it into place. Pull that film out a little bit. You're wanting to tuck it into those gaps on the spindle. Wind it through. You'll notice that it's connecting on the cogs top and bottom. If you want to, you can just wind it a little bit further after hitting the shutter. Wind a little bit further just so you're 100% sure that it's connected. Make sure it's sitting nice and flat there. Close that up. Gently press the back on both sides to make sure it connects properly. Then you can wind it through a little bit further and keep on going through until it gets to about the number 1. Here's a little trick. In order to make sure that you have connected properly in the first place, then just this little mechanism here, it's got an arrow for the rewinding. Just very gently put a bit of tension on it in that direction. That way when you go to wind on, see how that moves around? Then you can be 100% sure that your film is caught on and is transporting across nicely. Other thing you'll want to do, we had a 400 speed film that we were using. Make sure that your ASA setting is set to 400. Otherwise you'll be overexposing or underexposing your film. So just lift that up and turn it around to get the appropriate film speed for yourself. Right, so let's make out that we're out and about taking lots of photos. When you are transporting a film, do it fairly gently. If you rip it across too fast, you can tear some of the sprockets on that film. So be reasonably gentle, especially when you're getting up near the end of the film. When you're getting up near the end, there's going to be a bit of tension there, and if you push it too hard, you will take the film off of the spindle inside the canister. Then you won't be able to rewind it. Let's make out that we've gone through to the end of the film now, so it's time to rewind. Underneath there is this little release of the spindle button, a button for the release of the spindle. We're going to hold that in. Don't just press it in and let it go, because as you're trying to rewind it might just loosen up and pop back out again, and as you are tightening up the film when you're rewinding it, you can just tear that film off of the spindle again. So push it in and hold it in. Go over here to your rewind mechanism. Make sure you look at the direction of the arrow. If you wind it the wrong way, you're going to fold the film over on itself and make it harder for us to process, and you'll damage the film possibly. So while holding that little button in underneath, we are going to very gently wind it back in the direction of that arrow. You'll feel a bit of tension there, but that's okay. But if it feels too tight, well then you probably haven't got that button pressed in far enough. When it gets to the end, you'll hear it click and release, where it's come off of that little groove on that right hand side of the camera. So you can just keep on winding it, and that'll wind it back into the canister. And if you haven't wound it far enough when you've opened up the back of the camera, you'll see that there's a little bit of tail of the film out there still. That's alright, just wind it back in from the little knob on the top and wind it back into the canister so that you don't end up reusing it accidentally and double exposing things. That's it.